How to become a minimalist overnight. Well, I didn't go from this to that in one day or overnight. However, the tips and things I've learned along the way helped me a lot to reduce in a faster pace. So if you want to reduce your things maybe in a day, 2, or maybe a month, stick to these tips. They might help you. I hope this video comes into your favor and you become the minimalist you wish you are. And with the new year approaching, I know this has been a goal for so many people lately, with the minimalism movement becoming bigger and bigger. So I've divided this into 3 easy phases that will help you get there and also maintain becoming a minimalist. Okay, so to start with the reduction rebel phase, you need to get everything down. Clothes, books, kitchen stuff, everything. And put them in categories. Subcategories are also accepted if you own a lot of things. So for me, the clothes pile wasn't only clothes. It was cardigans, t-shirts, long sleeves, short sleeves, summer, winter, whatever. Do the subcategories that you may like. Secondly, go on and sit down, have a notebook, paper and pen, whatever, write down these categories. And think, how many items do you want to own in each? You can put a big item in the category phase and smaller and divide it into the subcategories little by little to have an overview of what you really need and want in each category. For example, I said I want 50 items in my clothes pile and I want 10 of them to be cardigans and jackets, 5 of them could be t-shirts, 5 of them could be sweaters, and so on and so forth. And this helps you a lot to know what you want in a bigger vision and a bigger view. Okay, once you wrote this down, you will start by picking the things you need, not the other way around. Don't pick what you don't want or you want to get rid of. Pick what you actually want. So for example, now you have the cardigans lying and jackets lying in front of you. Pick your best 10 and toss the rest. In some categories, it's not as easy as that. So I have some other tips to help you in those categories. Number 1, remove the duplicates. Look for things that are actually repeated. For example, if you're not the best skier in the world, you don't need more than 10 skiing pants. You only need 1. And in that case, you reduce a lot. You don't need duplicates in each category. And at the same time, you can have one thing for each purpose. As I said, for the skiing pants, it could be like you have one evening clutch. If you go out in a party or something like that, you only have one that suits everything. It could be 2. It depends on you if you're the party person, and so on. The next tip will be digitalizing what you can. If you have tons of CDs, movie DVDs, whatever like that, you can transform these into a hard drive, or you can transform books into a Kindle. I bought mine, and actually before buying mine, I tried one from a friend. Reducing things and digitalizing them in a world that we live in like that today will make things a lot easier. Try to have products that have dual functionality. For example, my phone acts as a time tracker, as something that tracks my movement. I don't need a Joe bomb, for example, anymore because it does 2 purposes. Stuff like that will help you reduce the amount of products you have, but yet still maintaining the same act of that you do with this product. Something that helps in also some other categories is the travel lists. Check travel lists online for stuff like toiletries, accessories, belts, scarves, bags, and shoes. This will give you the right essentials, and you don't need to have tons of them in order to maintain these categories. This helped me a lot to reduce these certain categories with a possible good number and not feel guilty anymore. The last tip that could help you reduce and get to the number you picked from the start is the ratio rule by Peter Walsh, the guru for organization for Oprah. So in certain categories like magazines, books, and stuff like that, if Kindle did not work for you to pick your number, you can do this. For every item you keep, you toss an item, or for every 2 items you keep, toss 1. This helps a lot to reduce like crazy because instead of picking only 10, you pick for each one that you don't need. Another tip is actually renting or taking stuff from your friend. In certain events like Halloween and stuff like that, you will find a lot of Facebook groups and stuff like that for actually switching costumes and stuff like that. So you don't need to go and buy something from the start and own it and commit to it. So switching taking from others, and also makeup sometimes help you, instead of having one look, having tons and multiple. Now you've reached the number you desired from the start. Let's go to phase 2, which is your dream in action. First things first, you need to understand your style. So in order to do that, a vision board will help a lot. If you already have a Pinterest account and you have like a board for a home you like or an organizational thing you love to repeat, stuff like that, this will help a lot. If you don't, start searching Google, making a Pinterest account, or checking certain magazines. Then from these images, pick 5 things that are in common. For example, what was in common with me was white walls, drawers with dividers, and black and white. So with these 3 things, I knew for a fact that these 3 things I want to see in the space I'm living in. The next tip is rearrange your room. When you rearrange the place you're staying at, it gives you a better perspective on a new way to use things. It will make you feel as if you are a different person, and minimalism will become into your favor, and it will become a little bit more exciting, if you may say. Sometimes for certain people, moving helps. If you live in a very big space and you now downsize your things and you keep living in this big space, it will be sometimes hard. So try to move to a smaller apartment. If you can't and you're living with others, try switching to a smaller room. If you have a brother or sister with a smaller room, you might be generous enough to give them your big room and go into theirs. It's a challenge sometimes, but it will make you reduce a ton. Afterwards, put everything you picked in the categories now in boxes. Don't put it back even after rearranging or moving in the smaller room. Put things in boxes or put them in a corner. And for 2 days, maybe a week, if you could go for a month, that would be great. Everything you would need to use, pick it up from the pile or the box that you have on the side and put it where you used it. For example, you used a toothbrush or lotion or whatever in the bathroom, keep it there. This will only make you feel a little bit better because the things you've picked will go to the places you use them at. So at the end of that month, you will find the box maybe with some stuff that you did not use. Sort through these. I think at that point it will be easier to realize what you actually need and what you don't. Think how to put each category you already wrote down smartly. If you don't know your style and you want something a little bit more focused and to the core, check drawers for toiletries or check organizational tips for toiletries. Find the best way you think that fits you. However, I would tell you to only try to keep surfaces clean. Clutter attracts clutter. If you put on a table one notebook, the next day you will find other papers, newsletter, I don't know, plates, chocolates, stuff like that. So clutter attracts clutter. So try to keep surfaces as much as possible clean. My next tip is, if you cannot move nor change room, plan a long trip and get 2 suitcases and try to fit your life in them. If you can, then you succeeded. If you couldn't, you will start knowing exactly what you need. And at that point, you will reduce a little bit more, not in the way that the reduction rebel phase went. Now you've reached your goal, you like what you see, you like what you own, and you actually own what you need. However, we all have this fear of going back. And don't sue yourself if you go back. I've went back a couple of times. Literally, I had to buy something today and get rid of it tomorrow because I realized it was a big waste of money. So it's not only you. These tips now, which is phase 3, maintaining what you've craved, is going to keep you from falling into that trap as much as possible. Not 100% proof, however, it helps. Trust me with that. The number 1 thing is stop shopping sprees. Don't go into shops without a purpose. Don't go into shops without a shopping list. Don't go to the supermarket without taking a picture of your fridge. Don't go shopping for clothes without taking a picture of your closet in order to see in your head how things are and what you actually need. And don't go buying overboard. It's not nice. The next tip is buying only when something is finished. So for example, my shampoo is over. That's only when I'll go to buy a new shampoo. I'm not going to try a new shampoo because the campaign was awesome. I'm just going to buy it because I need to substitute for my own shampoo. If you happen to buy something, switch it with something else. Having this idea in mind will make you more aware of what you get in your home, because you know for a fact that you would need to get something outside your house for it. The next tip is don't accept anything for free. Don't accept 2 lotions for price of 1. Don't accept things like that. If you happen to want something that is already an offer, try to give the other part to someone else as a gift, or actually divide it with the cost with a friend. For example, 2 for 1, divide the cost with a friend and each one of you could take 1. This will help you maintain a lot. Don't accept paper. Paper clutter is always something that creeps in every now and then, so don't take flyers, business cards, stuff like that. If you want information so badly, take a picture of it with your phone and have an album called glossary or anything like that. Reorganize every now and then. It gives you a boost to always rearrange things, organize them a little bit more, and becoming OCD-ish about it. Also, it will help you declutter in action along the way. It's not going to be as strong as when we started. However, it's going to be always something that you do. Keep a box or a bag beside the door and always put things you don't need while you're using stuff in action in them. I always used to do this from the start, and whenever I have a friend or a family member over, I tell them, check this bag. It has some stuff I don't need if you want anything from it. It's a nice act, and it also brings awareness to people on what you actually use and don't use. The last thing is gifts. We're approaching Christmas, and I know a lot of people will be jumping board into buying gifts and giving you gifts. But for this, I'll leave it for now and make a whole video about gifts, giving and taking, and how to manage people not giving you gifts that you don't need, and how to say no in a polite way. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope you've learned something. Tell me down below what tips worked for you best, and I hope you've reached your goal overnight like we said. I'll see you in the next video. Subscribe to support the channel, like this video if you really found a benefit behind it. And thank you so much for watching. Bye bye.